What a pleasure to welcome to the top of the tower, as we like to say here, our guest today, Miriam Margolyes. Welcome.
Oh, dear Ryan, wonderful to see you. It really is.
It really is.
And now I know it's Tubridy.
Yes.
I never knew how to say it before.
Well, you've pronounced it brilliantly, because not everyone, a lot of people go Tubridy or Tubridy, but you're bang on. Thank you.
Well, I've seen it spelled out, you see, so...
It helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. My word, it does.
You're here today to talk about the Little Book of Miriam. And ordinarily, if I'm interviewing somebody, we'll go, we'll do the A to the cradle to, I wouldn't say grave, but certainly to life thus far. And with your book, it's all there now. So I don't need to do any major introduction, but you've written a beautiful introduction to it. Can I read it out really briefly?
Yes, I put it on the page. I put my whole body on the page.
Actress, agony, aunt, and voice of Anusol?
I don't know how to say it.
Let's call it Anusol.
I always say Anusol.
Yeah, because you can read it.
But some people say Anusol.
Of course they do, because that's what it's all about, really. B.A. Cantab, Blue Badge holder, BAFTA winner, Cadbury's Caramel Bunny documentarian, Nothing Like a Dame, Miriam Escobar, Farter by appointment, geriatric Infanta of Castile, Jew landlady, mother of the company, not remotely bi, OBE, Qual ambassador, Professor Sprout, troublemaker, university challenger, Vogue cover girl, Lady Whiteadder, sometimes X-rated, gay, yid, zoomist, and very pleased to see you again, as am I. Miriam, welcome.
Oh, thank you. And you did that almost on one breath, which is remarkable.
What I'll do is I'll go through it, because there's such an A to Z to it all. And one of the things I loved about it was that we got a lot of who you are through the letters of the alphabet. And I thought it was quite touching that when we got to animals, you alighted on a moment in your career from the movie Babe.
Yes, but I might have to look it up to know which bit I chose.
Yes, you just talked about this lovely advice, because you played the mother dog Fly.
I did. And very sweetly. They sent me back to do it again because the Americans couldn't understand the Scottish accent that I used. Did I tell you that?
No, you did not tell me that.
Oh, well, yes, because, they can't understand much in America. And it was just, it was a border collie that I was doing. And so I had a border collie from Scotland. And I had my own border collie from Scotland. And they couldn't understand what I was saying. So I was asked to come back and kind of do it in mid-Atlantic. So that's why I returned and played Babe like that, very sweetly and kind of mid-Atlantic. And I got 2 fees for it, which was what really pleased me.
Did you actually?
I did.
Oh, I love that story. That's a happy ending if ever heard of one.
It was.
Because the other A in the list of the alphabet is accents, because your father had a Scottish accent. Your mother had what you call, I think, a working class English accent. And yet anyone who would ever hear you speak would think, well, that doesn't compute at all. But yet, there it is.
I know. Well, I've been lucky that I can change my voice, and it's made me money, of course, because I use it to do voiceovers. But I heard all my life different sounds.
Yes.
And that, Daddy was very Glasgow, and he never lost that. That was always there. And I like that. So I can be more natural if I'm Scots.
Yes.
If I have this posh accent, people think, oh, God, she thinks a lot of herself. And I don't, actually, but it's what everybody spoke when I was growing up.
So you just adapt it.
You adapt. And I think that's the great secret of life. You have to adapt. And I walk with sticks because I've got spinal stenosis.
Yes.
And I've adapted to it.
Yes.
I've made it part of me. In fact, I forget sometimes that I walked once without sticks. Indeed, I sometimes ran. And I couldn't run now if you paid me.
How would you describe yourself? Are you happy?
I'm relieved. I'm relieved I've got to this age without further damage or without having damaged anybody. Yeah. I've not done any harmful things to a single person, and that is a source of pride to me. Yeah. I want to be good. I don't care if I offend sometimes, because people need to be offended. Yes. But not too much, and then I'll cuddle them afterwards. That's the idea.
That's a remarkable track record not to have hurt anyone in your life. Where did that come from, that need not to, or that sense of justice?
From Mummy. Mummy said, do the right thing. And she was like that. She always did the right thing, and it's made me very moral. Before I do anything now, I think, is that the right thing to do? And it is sometimes. I mean, so in a lift, I don't fart. That is not the right thing to do.
It's a very generous thing not to do, I think.
And it's difficult sometimes to hold it in. But if it's a lift, you must.
You're talking about good manners as well, because you talked that story that you were on the tube and you were commenting on that a lot of people don't stand up anymore, or
I sit on them if they don't. If they don't stand up, then they'll be sat on.
And you sat on the lap of a man who was looking into his phone or whatever he was doing, and in the seat that is reserved for people who do need and required to sit down. How did that go?
It went well for me, but it didn't go well for him, I don't think. I think he was a bit unchuffed by it, but he got up fairly smartly, actually, and I could sit down.
It's remarkable that people wouldn't stand up. I find that remarkable.
I do too. I think it's shameful. And sometimes people have things wrong with them that you don't see.
Yes.
You can't always see that people are suffering.
Yes.
And that's why I've got a key that opens lavatories. Because if you go to the lavatory in a station or in a motorway cafe and it's closed, you have to wait for a member of staff to come. And you know what? I can't wait.
Yes.
That is the truth of the matter.
So you've got a fast track.
I've got a key that opens the door. Sometimes, of course, you disturb someone in their moment of glory, and that is unfortunate, and you immediately...
Oh, you step back.
I do.
Yeah, you don't sit on their laps.
No. I know how to behave, you see.
I've met you a couple of times, Miriam, and I love meeting you because I think if we sat at the back of the class together, we get nothing done. We'd be very uneducated.
We'd be naughty gigglers.
I'm afraid so. So let me ask you about mischief and the twinkle in your eye. You talked about your mum's goodness. Where did the sense of mischief making come from?
Well, I think it may be because I was conceived in an air raid, and my parents had no children and had been married for 11 years.
Yeah.
And I was conceived in a moment of panic and slight distress and hysteria, which is why Mummy said my hair was always curly. It happened at that moment, you see.
Yes.
And I think that made me a bit mischievous.
Yeah.
I came out kind of rocking and rolling and having fun, laughing.
And ready for action. And
Ready for anything.
Yeah. I liked one of the moments in your book. I liked every moment in your book, but I have to say, very, very amusing. And one of them was things to get a good conversation started at a dinner party. And I have to say, I'm a dinner party phobe. I find them quite hard because you could get stuck beside... You know, it can be...
Nigel Farage, for example. Somebody ghastly like that.
You could just be stuck. Well, at least you have something to say, whether you liked it or not. But it's somebody without any sense of passion or curiosity is a very difficult person for me to sit beside. But you have a list of conversation topics, which we've unfortunately, given the time of the day and some people's heart rates, we can't get into at this point. But... do you go to dinner parties? I can't imagine you enjoy them very often.
I do go because usually they're friends of mine.
So they know what to expect.
Yes, and I'm happy to see people because I'm away so much. I'm working a lot, and every now and again I love to see my chums.
Yes.
And then it's just lovely. But I don't need to ask my chums the questions that are listed in the book, some of which are rather cruelly offensive in some ways, because they want to find out. I'm not going to say what they are, but they use words that are challenging, perhaps, for some people.
Let's talk about Charles Dickens for a minute, because you love Charles Dickens.
And you gave me a first edition, which I treasure.
Well, it's because I'm just an admirer of what you do. You're great fun, and you bring the joy. So that was the reason for that. But I just find Charles Dickens is somebody that has piqued your interest for all different reasons. But what is it about him that you find so remarkable?
It's hard to encapsulate a whole oeuvre of work. That's quite a big word, but it's not a rude word.
No, just in case anyone thought.
Yes, it sounds as if it might be. He was a fascinating man, and he wrote superbly, and he opens the window into the 19th century. So when you read his books, you know what it was like to live 200 years ago. And it's such a gift, because he's near enough to us to use language that we can understand. Shakespeare's just that bit too far away, really. So for me, he is the man. He is the wonderful, extraordinary man. His daughter described him as wicked because he could be. He didn't do the right thing. And the tragedy is that he knew he wasn't doing the right thing. He wanted to put his wife in a mental home because he'd fallen in love with a young 17-year-old. Well, you men are sometimes like that, I'm afraid. That is unfortunate. But he wrote about it. And he wrote the characters that spring off the page, that, like Fagin, which was the first one that really excited me.
Oliver Twist.
You know, that the way he talks to Oliver, my dear. And immediately there's a kind of slimy, repellent energy in him that I found irresistible.
And the man himself, you described as being, you said he kind of had to become a dandy. He had to wear the gear, and because he was...
Well, he came from the lower middle class. You know, I believe that the class system is still totally active in the UK. Certainly. I don't know so much about Ireland. I think it's there, but not so much.
Not as pronounced.
No, it isn't. But imagine being James Rees-Mogg. You know, that's a kind of different creature. And class was something that Dickens understood, and he wanted to climb. He was a social climber. And that's why he thought that wearing fancy clothes would make him, would assist him in his climb up the class ladder. Indeed, it didn't, because they just thought he was vulgar. He wore, yellow pantaloons and very large cravats. He didn't have the subdued taste of the upper classes. But they are subdued, and they're tiresome. The upper classes are tiresome. They always sound as if they're crying when they talk. It's all, I don't know what it is. I have met many of them, and they're very pleasant on occasion, but they always sound as if they're about to burst into tears.
It's funny you should mention that. Let's take it to the top then, because there's several entries into the alphabet of your life where you confuse me a little bit, because I'm a socialist, but I really like the king.
Oh, well, I'm inconsistent. I'm not apologising for that.
Yeah, and I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just asking you about it. That you say...
I love the king. I think he's a darling.
Yes, but you say I shouldn't, but I do.
Politically,
okay.
I shouldn't. Because I'm on the left. And that's why I've always voted Labour, and why I don't like Nigel Farage, because I think he's a fascist. Yes. I'm not afraid to call things... a spade, if you like. But the king is a darling. He's a lovely man, and so is Camilla, a lovely woman. And they've been very nice to me. They've invited me to their place. I've had meals there, and they're gentle people, and they care about the country. He cares about it all. He's not unfeeling, and he plays the cello. Now, not many people can do that.
No. I also think even when he was younger, he was into the goons, and there's a sort of goofy side to him, I think.
He could have been an actor. He's a wonderful actor. Yes, because when he invited us to Sandringham for a heist party, he actually entertained us with one of Barry Humphrey's characters. Barry had written a script for him, and he actually did it, and he was brilliant. An old Australian ex-soldier called Sandy Stone. It was magical and very funny.
And he performed as this character for a few minutes for everyone.
Yes.
Wow.
To entertain us generously. He's a lovely man. I don't know him very well. I wouldn't say I was a friend, but what I know of him is entirely good.
Would you vote to abolish the monarchy despite him being friendly to you?
I wouldn't vote to abolish the monarchy, because we might get someone like Trump, and I'd rather have a king than a Trump.
So you're not a fan of the Trump then?
I have to be
go
careful.
here? Do we go here?
I think we better withdraw from that one.
Actually, that reminds me. Sorry, you've done a beautiful Irish accent there. Everyone's doing Irish accents these days. It's great. We had James Norton in last week, Orlando Bloom,
isn't
and all
he
that.
a peach?
Oh, he really is.
He's a doll. I love him and all. I do.
And
He's a darling boy.
Your Irish accent is really strong.
Well, what it is, there's a person there. You know, I have to be a person. I can't be just a voice. There's got to be a person
And who's the
behind
person?
it. I don't know. I'll know when I find her.
She works in Dublin. Just listening to it in the 1950s, maybe is where your Dublin accent.
Well, that could be right.
Could have been on the Gate Theatre with Donald McCann.
Well, no, I never was there.
You should have been.
I know, I should, but I wasn't. I didn't have the luck.
Yeah, but you made a documentary in Ireland not too long ago.
Oh, yes,
didn't
that
you?
was
with,
fascinating.
Lynn Ruane.
She is a cracker.
Yeah, senator, yeah.
Senator Lynn Ruane is top of the pops for me.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. She wants to do the right
She
thing.
does, yeah. She's very active and she's got a good social conscience. And you travelled around with her. You went to Lady Gregory's.
Yes,
home.
that was a marvellous experience. I'm going back to Ireland, actually, and I think it's the first time I'm going to Belfast, which is, as you know, Northern Ireland.
That's a totally different situation.
I'm going to have to really try about that one. No, let me see. Down. You have to say down.
You down.
Buy the Ulster Weekly every Friday.
Now you have it. And you'll say things like Norn Iron.
Norn Ireland. Oh,
no.
Norn
Iron.
Iron. Norn Iron.
That'll cover you.
Oh, wow.
Where are you going, Norn Iron?
Very good.
You can hold on to that, can't you?
Well, I don't know if I can hold on to it, but I'll try. I'll try that. It's difficult when you have to do it one after the other.
I know, I'm segueing one into the other. What would you like people to take from your book of wisdom, Miriam?
That life is complex.
Yeah.
That one can be naughty and kind and rude and sexy and frightened and always better to be honest.
Yeah. And when you reflect on your life to date, have you ticked all the boxes as you see them in terms of what you wanted to?
Oh, no, God help us. There's a lot to do. I'm not giving up yet. No, there's a lot left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go slowly, but I'll get there in the end. I will.
You certainly will. What a pleasure it is to see you again, Miriam.
It's my pleasure. You haven't aged much, I must say.
Thank you.
You've kept yourself in good nick.
In good nick.
Yeah.
That'll be the Guinness.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised to hear that, actually. But bless you.
And if you need any tips on the Irish accent, just look me
I'll
up.
come straight round. I will.
You will?
I will.
I'll put the kettle on. The Little Book of Miriam. What a delightful book it has been of the life so far of the great Miriam Margolyes. And thank you for being with us today, Miriam. We'll see you again very soon. Don't be a stranger.
What a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Virgin Radio.